another
Pull
one.
up.
We're gonna have them all up. We're gonna go on and fill the screen up. Let's do it.
It's
Valdez.
It's Valdez.
What's going on, everybody?
Hey,
Can y'all hear me good?
up?
Yeah.
Well, I love your background.
Perfect.
Yeah, I love it.
Thank
Valdez,
you.
you run? You a runner, aren't you?
I hate running, but I do run. I more so like doing burpees and then kind of working outside in the elements.
Like a CrossFit type deal?
Yeah.
Okay.
On them burpees, boy, they gonna get you a workout for real.
Yeah, they're real.
So, are you gonna take the pills or what? You gonna take the birth control or not?
If they had them to where it wasn't like horrible side effects and stuff, then yes. But also I can say as a man and then just watching from a historical standpoint and Tuskegee experiment, really don't like taking shots and all other types of stuff because it's got trust issues, major trust issues from that.
I was speaking on that. I was touching on that a little bit about the Tuskegee experiment back in the day and why, you know, some Black men may be a little more apprehensive to do that. But just in concept, you know, just in let's just say all is well. Do you think there's some responsibility if this is once this comes on the market, you think there's some responsibility there that, you know, a man should or should not take the pill?
I think if statistics prove that it's not too devastating side effects and stuff, then it'll even a playing field as far as responsibility goes. And then you wouldn't get the narrative of it's mostly the woman fault or pull out game being weak or whatever. Because I do say usually yes, guys who should be strapping up. I know I strap up and wear condoms and stuff like that. But I noticed in this dating culture, a lot of people just want to go in without protection, just to get the best feeling and pleasure, you know, whatever. But ideally, yeah, that'll definitely even a playing field as far as accountability goes, in my opinion.
But you don't. Okay, let's talk about accountability. You don't think the playing field is even now, right? Because people will say like what did we say before, right? You can zip it up, or you can like close it up. Boom.
So, only reason why I would say I don't think it's even is that I know from, or I don't know, but I'm assuming from a woman's standpoint, right? For we to say y'all make sure y'all take care of y'all part, stay on birth control, or take the pill or the day after pill or whatever those pills that you may consume and take and stuff like that. They kind of put all the burden on women to make sure they own their P's and Q's on that part. And sometimes, not all times, but you got some reckless guys who be like, let's go ahead and shoot up the club.
Look, Valdez, you know, as I was sitting here listening to you, I don't know if you were in here when we first started, but I got a sound for you. I played it at the beginning because I want everybody to know. But I got something specifically for you. I see you up here. I got something specifically for you in mind. I'm gonna play this sound one more time. Y'all mind if I play this one more time? Hold on. No,
let's go.
You will never make me hate a Black man. You'll never convince me that Black men hate me.
Thank you, Valdez. And that's the inside. If you in the mastermind, you get it.
Yes.
Okay. If you in the mastermind, you will get it. But I see you, my good brother. I see you. All right.
Yes.
So, all right, you didn't got through the preliminary. Now you see that we on here. We just chit chatting.
Yep.
We just on here chit chatting. Valdez, are you dating a woman that's taller than you?
Always.
Okay.
Oh, well, how tall are you?
5'4".
Look now at he's 5'4". Now he's taller than you, Joy.
And he's like you sit your little short tail down somewhere.
You said
5'7", 5'9", around that range.
He ain't checking for us. No way.
5'4" chicks, they usually want this. So I usually end up dating up as far as like. They be like,
but do you feel intimidated in some type of way if a woman is taller than you?
Oh man, I love that shit. It's like wanting to chop down the tree. You
just there you go. Look. That's a tall glass of water.
Yeah, okay. You understand? It's a the beautiful challenge that we look
Oh Lord, I love to hear it.
It's very dangerous.
So we trying to be laying on the chest and Joy trying to get picked up. Daddy said he gonna lay on in them boobs too.
It's giving
Let me get
maternal.
some of that.
Let
me get some of that.
It's giving maternal.
Yes.
But at least he said he do
Yes.
CrossFit, so I already know. He said he do the burpees. He's doing chin ups. He's doing all kind of. He's double jumps and all that. He said he works out. He don't run though. A little bit.
He said,
You
bring
on a
it
bike?
on.
You on that Peloton?
I did a what was it? Spartan race.
Okay.
Before
Okay.
Oh, he said he's in shape, baby.
I just
said
don't choose to because it helps you lose weight, and I'm not trying to lose weight, I'm trying to build muscle. So
Okay.
He did a Spartan race.
Now
this is the kind of interesting stuff we like to hear.
So Val,
yeah.
does that transfer into the bedroom? So you can just
Oh,
go
he
all day long?
don't know nothing about no 30 minutes.
Yes, unlimited energy. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Unlimited.
You can stay in missionary position with your hands in push-up position for 20, 30 minutes.
Oh, you gotta switch it up. Depends.
You gotta switch.
So you can't stay there for 30
say
minutes.
he do burpees. So the burpees is not
The burpees, that's a full body workout.
He said, get your gym game up.
He like getting down, he's stretching
That
out
what
and
he
getting
said.
back up and jumping.
Do a
But you
little
know,
That
yoga.
was-
once you get in position and you hit that spot, she ain't gonna want you to move, so you can't be switching it up. You know how y'all is once you touch that spot, you can't be moving.
You need to be
Oh,
ready for
Go off her
whatever
energy,
comes.
man. Her body will tell you what you want. It'll tell you.
Don't let me find out you had that wall coming, sis.
No, I ain't never had that wall.
Nah, did you not
Everybody's
see
different.
this man in a bulletproof vest with the
I
with the radio on the other day, like he was about to go and save the day real quick on us?
Yes.
They was calling him Mayday. You need to get down here. These people going crazy.
10-4.
Right.
Oh, damn it, cold man.
Get them chains off the door.
Get the chains off the door. The enemy's here.
Enemy is
Condemn you. He says, good point. 10 Plus says Valdez, that background is amazing. We got our dude. He's David Carmina from the David Carmina show.
He's like, I ain't seen David in a minute.
Hi, ladies. David. We still are here, doing what we do. When it gets late, you know how we do. Y'all got to come keep us ladies in check. Somebody got to put us on the program, but just so you know, we do not listen. At least I don't.
They like this, so
I don't listen. David, no kid gang is in full effect. Let's go. These folks say keep them babies at home, but are they going to take the pill?
Pop the pills.
Are y'all gonna take it? Y'all say y'all don't want no kids, and so far y'all been lucky.
Get y'all a shirt to say I'm a pill popper. Go ahead.
Birth control, Viagra.
The birth control.
Together is what I'm saying. It needs to be a cocktail. It needs to be. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, cocktail. Yes,
it's a cocktail.
Yes,
you get your blue pill
before, during, and after,
and you get your birth drug. Exactly.
Now, is that for, like, say, if you're in a relationship or you just out here wild in the streets?
If you don't want to have children, if you're not at the moment, then that's why you take that pill. It's the same reason why women take birth control. They are not looking to have children at the moment.
Yeah.
It's like insurance. It's like insurance.
Right. So you take that pill. Now, if you out here, because a lot of y'all out here, right? Well, Doug, you keep me honest, Doug. Doug, keep me honest. I say it's a lot of y'all out here that don't care. Matter of fact, Doug in the back. Listen, today is a free for all, ain't it?
Might as well.
Say how many of us?
Let's go.
Yes, we got a full panel.
We on one tonight.
Doug, keep me honest, Doug, because here's what I'm about to say, but I know you're gonna keep me honest. Because a lot of y'all out here don't care about the birth control. You don't care about the condoms. You just out here.
57.2% of Black men have no children. 57%. This guy named Medium Man, shout out to his channel. He did a whole 15-minute study, broke down all the numbers, and in regular terms and like scientific terms. He breaks it all down. 57% of black men have no children.
So that means 43% of y'all
wait, hold on, no,
don't care.
No, 26%, no, 27% are married. So it's about 16 to 17% of black men that are getting all the 80% of our children out of wedlock pregnant.
So
18%.
Let me ask you one question, Doug.
Let's
Of those 27% that are married, how many of them have children living in someone else's house other than theirs?
I don't know. They don't track it.
Oh,
but hold on a second. The majority of black men have no children, and that number is rising up each year. There's an upward trend. So we're doing our part. Tell me why.
Hold on.
Let Doug speak.
I'm accepting it. I got you, Doug. I'm accepting what you're saying.
Let Joy speak.
I had a clarifying question. How many of them those men like each other?
Wait.
Bye, Joy.
What does that have to do with anything? Because no. Hold on a second. Remember, lesbian couples have children. Gay couples have children. So what?
But they may be adopted.
It doesn't matter. They count children. Period.
Oh, not births. It's like I signed.
These are have children in any way, shape, or form. 57%.
Of the fifth. No, this is breaking news because that's not how I interpreted any of that data.
No, this is all men.
Okay. Black men don't have children, and it could be these black men could be 70-something years old with no kids.
These are adults,
do they want them? Or they could be 15,
18. No.
Okay, got it.
18 and above.
Okay, but what about the let's just talk about maybe was it 21 to 40, 45, 50? What does that look like?
I'd have to look. Look into
but okay. Well, we'll just take it as is. So 57% don't have kids, but what that means to me is that 43% of y'all don't care.
No. 26% are married. 26%. No, 26% are married. So they got married.
But there's a lot of men that are married.
You have to count the guys
what is the number of men that are married?
You have to count the guys that got married, because at least they got responsible enough to marry one of the women that they had kids with.
He said 16%.
Maybe because they might be married and not have kids with the women. The woman they married.
The wife, and they got little children outside.
It's about 18% of men that are getting 80% of black women pregnant. 16% of black men that have more than one child have more than one baby father. Mm-hmm. Women are having kids with the same guys. You have three guys in Tennessee that have 86 kids between them. Okay, 3 guys in Tennessee.
Okay, good. Okay, so let's talk about the 18%. So so let's talk about the 18% then, okay?
Yeah.
Should they not take the pill?
I agree. Everything that you can say about the 8%, I'm not going to disagree with. I think that guys who are baby making machines, something should be done about them. So we're not going to disagree on anything there. But this whole myth where you guys need to stop these men, how are we going to? We're doing our part by having less kids. Black women trying to say that we need to stop these men from getting women. How are we going to do it? Women need to stop these guys from freaking sleeping with them.
We can't do that with them women or the men either.
Well, I've heard that argument before. I've heard women say, "Why don't the responsible men stop?"
I said it.
Well, no, I didn't say that you said it. I'm just saying.
I did though.
What you said?
Yeah.
The man gotta get the bottom of it.
Like the men should get the 18% together, definitely.
No, it's on the women.
What do we do with that?
Hold on now.
We are doing our part. Our childless rate is going up more and more each year. So we are telling our younger generations, we are 3 or 4 generations deep into fathers and mothers. Mothers in single mother households will tell their sons, don't get no girls pregnant. And they've listened. 57% of us have no children, and the number's going up. So we're doing our part. You ladies,
what's the numbers looking like?
With these guys.
So where are the babies coming from there?
Yeah.
A small percentage of men are getting a bunch of women pregnant. Yeah, that's what
Nick Cannon.
But what about the 57% of the married men?
No.
How many? 27%. Sorry. The 27%
are single and childless.
Okay, got it. So the 27% of married men with kids, right? Is that what you're saying?
No. Yes.
Yes.
27%.
What if
are married
in that 27% there's a large percentage of men? Because you said you don't know the numbers, and I don't know them either, so I'm not gonna argue with
I just
you.
know the large chunk. I don't know the
Okay.
specific numbers.
What if that within that 27% are men who have children outside of their marriage? Not necessarily cheated. They may have had them before or whatever have you. How I mean, how much do you think that is?
But that's
We don't
couldn't
know,
tell
right?
you,
We can't
but
even should we
but
be
here's
talking
the
to them
thing. Here's
too
the thing.
though, or no?
The majority of us don't have children, and the narrative is still that the majority of us are out here making babies. I just want to acknowledge that the majority of us don't have. Can we start there? The majority of us don't have
I
children.
still want to unpack.
Okay.
I need more information on who this sample is, where all the numbers came from, because no, that don't sound right.
The census. Yep, it's a serious. The census and the Department of Health.
I accept that. All I'm asking is, are we looking at? I know you got your numbers, and that's cool. Got them. But there are a lot of men who are married but have kids outside of that union. They got
You can legally have one wife though in the United States.
Oh, so people don't get divorced and get remarried?
You can only have one wife legally at one time.
Yeah.
Right, but so okay, I'm my mother, and he had 2 kids.
Okay.
Then he got married to my mother and had 2 more kids. He and my mother are in one household with their 2 kids. But guess what? He has 2 kids living outside of the household to a woman. Well, I should say before she got married, because she did get remarried. But to a woman before she got married, you would consider her a baby mama to 2 kids.
No,
right?
There's
but
single mothers and there's baby mamas.
Okay, single mother. We'll say single mothers, right?
Single mothers used to be married. Baby mamas were never married.
Before she got married, remarried again. She's a single mother to 2 kids. But if we had the census during that time, you would say, "Oh, this man is married, and he's married." And with kids, so he's doing the right thing. And I'm not condemning my father. I'm just giving you an example. What about this mother? Okay, you're not counting in that statistic. You're not counting him as a statistic. Statistic.
Would you consider a man who had children in wedlock one time, got divorced, and had children in wedlock again as irresponsible? Like the 18% of men.
It depends.
Like the 18% of men who are getting all the women pregnant.
But there's a lot of men.
Because I think that's the right thing to do.
That would consider a woman that's divorced with kids as baby mama.
No. There's a clear distinction.
Yes.
There's I can tell you. I'm a man.
What's the percentage of single mothers?
80% of our women have children out of wedlock.
Have those women been? What is the percentage of those single mothers who are divorced, widowed?
I have to check.
That's fine. You're counting all of those women into this number to not you, Doug, and I'm not. This is not personal, but you will count all these women in this number as single mothers, right? Single mothers.
Single mothers.
Like, all these black women
were married at one time. Baby mamas were never married.
Whatever. Okay, I don't know if this does baby mama calculations, but whatever.
Yeah, what I'm saying is children out of wedlock means baby mamas.
So what?
Really?
You will say
paperwork this says that.
They do.
No, but so
My
so us black men, we came up with the baby mama.
I don't know. I just say I don't know if the census does baby mama. If they do, that's fine. But you will say there's 70% of black women are single mothers, and that there are however many
had children out of wedlock.
Is that what the census says? Is it children out of wedlock or single mothers?
No,
Is it children out of wedlock or single mothers?
Okay, over here in men's spaces, we created the difference. The census doesn't. All they say is that a certain percentage of women had children unmarried. But so over here in men's spaces, we made the distinction because women that had child out of wedlock, in wedlock and got divorced, get more credit than women who chose to do it by themselves. So on the pecking order of women that you would consider, we give women more credit who at least tried to be married and it couldn't work it out and got divorced than women who just let some dude shoot up the club and went for it all alone.
Okay, so but what is the statistic that you guys in that space quote about Black women and single mothers? Because you're doing the part. Because Black men are doing their part. So compared to Black women, what is the statistic to say that Black men are doing their part compared to Black women? What is that?
Because the majority of us have no children.
No.
57% of us have no children.
Okay, so then how many?
That's very high.
People in prison?
Listen, don't listen, Joy.
Come on.
What is the 70%?
Like, we got to stop tossing around these 90s Oprah, all Black men are down low, all Black men in prison. Knock it off. Come on.
You just told.
Who said they was down low?
No, the whole prison thing, it's 90s, 80s, shaming.
The population in America not incarcerated.
Doug, my guy, you quoted a statistic about single mothers, Black single mothers. What is it?
No.
I'm asking you what it is. Is it 70%? Was it 80%?
80%. 80% of our children are born out of wedlock.
Okay. Well, what was single mother statistic that you quoted? You said 70% of Black women are single mothers, something like that?
No. All I said was the out of wedlock birth. And
what is it? What is this of out of wedlock?
About 80%.
80%
so like high 70s, 80%.
80% of Black women have children out of wedlock.
Out of wedlock, 100%.
That's your word is your bond.
80%. Yep. Mm-hmm. It's about, I think it's like 78.7, 79, something like that.
So let me ask you a question. Are we counting? So in that statistic, 80% of Black women have children out of wedlock. Are we counting that they get married after that?
No. They just put at the time they had children not married.
So you're comparing this. That's what I'm saying. Here we go. So you're comparing the statistic of right now, men right now, only 57%.
Only?
Are single.
That's a lot.
43. 80-20.
Single and childless 60, Black men is 57.1%.
60-40. 60-40. Does that 60-40? Does that seem good to you? I'm gonna give it to you. 60-40.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, 60-40. I guess that's way a lot more, right? Than 70-30, 80-20, 90-10. Okay, that's fine. 60-40. 60-40. So 60% of Black men are single,
childless,
and childless, right? And then what is the comparison to a statistic of Black women? Black women, single and childless.
I'd have to look.
Okay, let's talk about the 43%. Let's talk about the 43%. So then there's 43% of men who are single and with a child or married and with a child.
No, 26% of Black men have children and are married. 26%.
So does that mean that
26% are married? Yeah.
That's out of the 57.
No. So out of the 100, there's the 57% that are single and childless. 26% are married, and then all the rest
of the 57%
are no.
Of the 43%.
Yes, and then all the rest are just out there doing whatever.
7%. I'm not getting enough information.
It's not too much of a variance, honestly, but they got it. You gotta let them have it because 60-40. Y'all. Some of these men want 50-50 relationship, but 60-40 is fine. 60-40 is fine. 60-40 is fine. I'm gonna give it to him. I'm gonna give it to him. Okay. So what I'm saying is, then you take that statistic and you say things like the number of Black women with kids is what?
The sheer number?
Or a single? What is this, the baby mama statistic that you quote?
About 80% of our children are born out of wedlock.
Okay, so they're
not in a marriage.
You're not comparing apples to apples. You know that, right?
All
at this point, we just throwing numbers around.
No, it is.
All I'm saying is,
what's the point? What is the point we're making?
The narrative
My point is they'll say, "Oh, they'll say 57% of Black men
are single and childless. Give us
but
credit.
what is that compared to what of Black women are single and childless?
That means that.
No, I'm asking the number. What is the number of Black women that are single and childless? That's what we got to.
I don't know.
Okay.
But
that's what I'm saying. That's all I'm
we
saying.
don't I just want to fight the narrative that there's a bunch of Black dudes out here getting women pregnant.
Oh, it is.
The majority of us, no, there isn't.
It's 43%.
No, the majority of us aren't doing it. The majority of us aren't doing it.
It's 40%. Okay, it ain't.
Well, we know GLA's majority is 51.
Exactly, it's 51%.
That's all I'm saying. Because once again, like Joy did,
it's 40% of Black
pushing
men.
these narratives about all men around here that
okay, so like Doug is doing, trying to
down
twist my
low.
words, is not what I said.
It's 40% of Black men.
Definitely not what I said.
No.
But if y'all want to have a moment, we can go.
All I'm saying that 40% is not small.
And of the 50% some of them don't want kids. They don't have them.
Y'all not gonna tell me that 50% represents one specific identify. There's a array of people that's in that 57%. You're not gonna tell me.
So what though?
When we pulling out these
if you don't have kids,
it's so many variables that are not accounted for. So I'm saying
they don't have any. All that matters.
It is not an
matter why.
question for me.
I don't care why they don't have any kids.
Prison? I have lots of questions about
I don't
who
care.
is this 57%? What
the
they 57%
like? Are the guys that were smart enough to not get a woman pregnant.
I think we need to get the stats on.
Do we know those children? Do we know those?
When women start putting the narrative out there that Black men get a bunch of women pregnant, all you need is that one stat.
That's not the narrative. The narrative is that the Black women are modern and baby mamas.
40% of Black.
They ain't talking about the baby daddies like that. 80%. They're not talking about the baby daddies like that.
43% of men Black men have children. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
43%.
And some of them are married and did the right thing and only have children in marriage.
That is
right.
And if I was a journalist, I would say nearly half of Black men.
I agree with you.
Nearly half of Black men have kids. Now, and I compare that to a number of what to Black women, of what to. I mean, what is that? How does that compare to the other? I don't really even care about the other.
What I'm saying is, what I'm comparing it to is women. Like, if you're talking about who's being, it's my opinion. I'm not judging anyone here. I think it's irresponsible.
We know it's all love.
I think it's irresponsible to have a child out of wedlock. I understand things happen.
I think we can. I think some of us
talking to a guy. I spent 42 years on this planet, and I've avoided not having children because if I had them, which I doubt, because I would say one of the worst things about having a child is that you have to have a child with another person.
Oh, Doug, you didn't hit the wall, did you, Doug?
What's that?
Yet? You didn't hit the wall, did you?
No. I have a twin brother. Actually, he doesn't have any kids. He got the old snip. He's like, I ain't going nowhere. And I'm this close. I'm thinking about it for my 43rd birthday. But it's just for me. I just don't like the trope that because Black men, we are doing better. We can't be in denial that Black men are. There are fewer of us in prison, more of us educated, less of us with children. We are doing better. I want us to at least start getting the benefit of the doubt in an argument. Don't assume anything positive about Black men. Negative. So how about that? That's all I'm here for. I just want to make
benefit of the doubt, and they giving them babies.
Where did this whole thing flip? Because we were having a very neutral conversation. You got it. What happened? Like, how did we get here?
Well,
I'm asking. For a friend. Don't.
Well, I number up because I wanted to say that.
Keep me honest.
I think that if a male birth control pill comes on the market, I think a bunch of guys will take it.
Okay, so we're gonna answer the question. Excellent.
Yeah, okay.
I'm listening.
Because
I don't think they're gonna take it.
Okay, I don't have a lot of conspiracy theories, but I think one of the reasons why there isn't a pill yet is because our economy and our state governments are dependent on the irresponsible men getting women pregnant. Like honestly, and then it's number one. And then number two, it's really hard to stop millions of sperm. It's easier to stop one egg than it is to stop. It's enough where you can consistently say, "Hey guys, if you like." I think that a lot of doctors lie to black women and say you can't have kids. I think that there's something to that because I know a lot of my black female friends whose doctors literally told them that, and they got pregnant. So I think I don't know. I don't go into that, but imagine if black men had a pill and they were like, it works, and it didn't. Understand what I'm saying? But all I'm saying is if they had an effective pill, I think a bunch of guys would take it. But the problem is that would be taking childbirth out of getting pregnant out of the hands of women and putting it in the hands of men. And since the 80s, we are 2-3 generations deep of, once again, your daddy and your mama, or just your mama, said, boy, don't have any children, don't have any kids. My mom had me scared to death of having a child. What would be the
problem that men and women share the responsibility or the accountability of having kids? What's the problem with that?
Well, okay, so guys, guys, we don't get hit with baby fever. Women do. Okay, like no, honestly though, okay. I'm not saying that baby fever leads to a pregnancy, but I think the majority of women look around and say, I mean. I'm
gonna stop you. I'm gonna stop you right there, though, because here's the thing.
The brat is pregnant at 48.
Exactly. So let me
modern medicine.
But let me just stop you right there, though, because for a very long time in the world, money. No, you say guys don't get baby fever, and it may not seem like the same way that women supposedly get baby fever, but for a long time in this world, if a woman was not fertile, she was not breeding, she wasn't producing heirs or legacies or whatever it was, then men, not you specifically, then men would deem her worthless. So it may not be baby fever in the sense of, oh, I want another baby. It could definitely mean like, where is my legacy? Where's my heir? Who can I pass this down to? And that was for a very, 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 and still in some parts of this world, a very long time in this world, to the point where if you didn't have a male heir, if a woman wasn't producing a male child, right, she was deemed worthless. Someone else can give me. That was the world. It wasn't the West, and you right now. That's different.
It's still like that.
It's still like
I'm
that.
in the South. It's still like that. Men want a son. Men want a son,
especially black women.
They want a son.
Society can't tell you nothing.
To a certain extent, you're
right.
Son versus but I'm saying that because listen, we can talk. Listen, sorry. Maybe the last 150 years, and that's me. Not even, and that's me thinking I'm still in the year 2000. So I'm thinking like 1850ish. But I understand that 150 years is a little bit further than that. But like that was a thing through the 1800s in the West. And 150 years is not a long time compared to how long human beings have been on this earth. And I'm just talking about America. And just like Alan said, there's a lot of men out here. There's a lot of men like where is that boy child?
They want a son.
They want, where's the boy child?
They want more sons. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's modern. It's modern for them to kind of accept
how much is a
this
lot?
having
Because
girls.
57% of black men don't have any children.
But there's 43 that do. There's 43% that do.
I'm just.
There's 43% that do, and 43, and then there's 27% of them that are married. But
and this right here, David talking about this is not y'all throwing all the women in one bag.
All I'm saying is, what I meant by baby fever is men. We will logically want to have children, so we'll say, one day I want to have a son. Baby fever means you spent your 20 in your early years saying, I am not having kids. And then all of a sudden,
and guess what? And you spend 20 and you're 30 and you're 40. You spend all them years if you don't really care.
Don't make us think less of you now.
I love baby fever looks different between men and women because men and women are different, right? So
And from
women
woman
may
to
have
woman
this
is
urge to
different.
have a baby, but men may have this urge to have their little
son.
whatever.
These men want
What
these
I'm saying
babies.
is-
Let's
And,
just be
and,
real.
men, and there's a lot of
Let's
men
just
out
tell
here.
the
And they
truth.
keep
want the
trying. If
baby.
they have daughters, they're gonna keep trying till they get a
And they
boy.
want them.
There's a
But
lot of
That's
men
one
out
of
here
my
that don't have
no,
children.
no.
No,
There's a
Joe.
lot
I
of
got,
men
I
out
got
here
a
that
daughter and I'm
Ladies,
done.
ladies,
No,
look
Joe.
at Valdez.
but ladies,
excited. My
Like,
daughter's
I
dope.
don't know.
Wasn't done. I got a daughter. She's
Joy.
dope as hell.
I
I'm
got
done.
all
I
I'm
don't
saying
have
is
any son.
But that's a modern thought, though, Valdez. You
What
said
I'm
you have a
saying
daughter
is
and you're good, right? But there's some men, there are some men out here who still like, no, I need the son. And there's some men out here like, oh, I need a backup to the son, right? So they need another one. I would say, Valdez is something more. I don't want to use modern in a very negative term, but that's something. I'm not saying you're a modern man, okay? So please don't take this negative at all. But that is a modern
Forward. He's a
thought.
forward thinking.
He's forward. He's a forward thinking man that you're good with just your daughter. But there were a lot of men prior to you, and this is recent history within the last 150 years.
Right
who were
now.
right now. You're right. Like they want that boy, right?
They do.
That, and they just whatever. But they're like, where I need my boy child. I need that one. This is the one because I want to raise him up to be like me or be better than me, or you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna leave this to him. I'm telling you, it is it is out there. Even though we know that it's not the woman's what is it, chromosome, doctor? The X and Y's. It ain't even the woman's fault.
They determine
it's
the
not-
men
it's
determine the gender of the baby.
Even when we know that, there are
I think
still
it's
men
whether you on
today
top
that
or
say
bottom.
I can't get my boy from her.
So
Even when we know that.
So these
it
guys
depends
are
on
out
if you're on the
here.
top or the bottom when it happens.
Wait,
Go ahead, Joe.
so these guys are out here wanting a boy, right? What's it have to do with like a man can want a boy all he wants, but like if a woman doesn't want to give him a child, she doesn't have to.
These women giving these men kids. Where do y'all think these
You
babies
just
coming
Whose fault
from?
is that? Whose fault is that?
It's
The men, because we trying to give them what they want. We keep listening to y'all, and y'all keep leading us wrong.
People taking responsibility for the life they created. What is wrong with that?
No.
What is wrong with
telling
saying, you know what? I slept with this woman. I ejaculated in this woman. I didn't have whatever happened. I'm not saying there's some women that trap. We get it. We're not saying that. There's some women that turkey base.
It's some men that trap.
There's some men that trap too. And I'll get that's a story for another day.
But the thing about how can
they-
a man
that is
trap a woman when a woman can plan B or get rid of the child?
My sis just came up here last week and told us how men was trapping.
No, but a woman can get rid of the child though, and if she chooses not to exercise that option, she can choose not to. But like a woman can choose not to have that child. Can we acknowledge that, Lee?
You are right, but there's some women who can't. There's some women who can't even afford.
You know how many people have iPhones in this country and they can't afford that? The average.
I mean,
it costs less than your iPhone.
People paying for phones and they won't buy lunch. Yes.
No,
priorities are in the wrong place, but yes, that's happening all the time.
You can exercise the right to choose. If it's my body, my choice.
Hey, guess what? Y'all can exercise the right to choose, and what choice are you making?
It's your body and your choice. It's your body, your choice, and you chose.
I think if a bunch of laws
chose to drop off, drop your seed off.
Hold on, what Valdez say?
So I think if a bunch of laws was changed and stuff, then it'd be easier for both parties to set accountability as far as when kids are created and stuff.
True.
Because the biggest thing I noticed, and then a lot of guys that I know and then I see and stuff like that always want to be in the kid's life and then take care of the kids that they made and help contribute, right? Because they did have to have sex with the woman in order for this kid to come. Usually, from my experience, what I see that happens is this second instance that couple don't work out. That man and that girl don't get married or anything like that. In most cases, you have some women who hold on to that and then kind of make the kids suffer as far as keeping them away from the father.
Why didn't you fight to see your kids when she's the one making you fight to see it? Why didn't you fight harder when she's the one making you fight? It's crazy.
Why didn't you fight harder that urge that you got to make that baby?
No, hold on now. What's wrong with fighting? Hold on. Let's just say you encounter a woman that's supposedly making you fight to see your kids. What's the problem with you fighting to see your kids? I mean, there's a problem, right? It's an innate problem. Whatever it is, the communication, the relationship between you and that mother that made it that contentious where you have to fight. But if I have to fight to see my child, why wouldn't I?
No. Okay,
you still would, but it's based off of how our system is set up and stuff like it's a financial losing battle.
Okay, so
if I was in that situation, I would still fight. And I'm blessed.
Okay,
love my
that's what I'm saying, because this is why I said before, men are about that bottom line, and it's the bag. It ain't about it. Sometimes let me not for all men, because I know a lot of good black men out here and that love their kids and who will fight all the way to the end. That 4%, that 60% of men that go to court and fight for their kids and get the custody, right? Those are some good men. Okay, not saying that all of them aren't, like whatever, but that's what I'm saying. But ain't no way in hell. I don't care. If I'm living on the street or whatever, somebody's gonna stop me from seeing the seed that I created, my child. It just ain't gonna happen. Whatever amount of money, I'm gonna go to every single. I'm gonna be on the internet, because you said I can afford iPhone, but I can't afford abortion. Whatever. Okay. I'm gonna be on my iPhone. I'm gonna use that resource to find whomever can help me. I'm gonna try to scrape up the last bit of change. I'm gonna be out here panhandling on the street, do whatever I need to do to be able to get to my child.
Have you ever talked to any of your male friends who's going through this?
Yeah, a lot of women say that because
I don't have a lot of male friends that are going through this. Let me tell you why I don't have a lot of male friends that are going through this. Because even my male friends that are divorced from their wives, a lot of my male friends have married wives who are equal to, like, what y'all would consider modern women, right? Mm-hmm. And as a modern woman, I got my own, right? You'll never hear me say I don't need no man, but I have my own money. I don't need your money. No need for me to try to, like, I guess, drag you through the courts for your money. And as a matter of fact, you could definitely have 50-50 custody because I'm on your child, because I get no gain and no benefit from doing that. Because like you said, it costs a lot of money. And I'm pretty sure the modern woman that's making money understands that it costs a lot of money too, right? And she probably, yes, she does. No, she does. You're looking at three of them.
Women. What I'm saying is women start with custody 90% of the time. So primary care, but if they don't have to have legal representation to go to court.
I'm telling you, you can have 50-50. I'm telling you,
have it.
You can have it. We don't even gotta go to court, my guy. You can.
Well, you're talking about you. I'm talking about in general.
I'm talking about most of these modern women that people are always out here trying to degrade.
90% of women get custody.
Are they all modern women? All of them.
90% of women in the United States.
None of them are traditional. None of them. There's no traditional women out here. None of them.
Women of all types. 90% of women of all types get
all
custody.
Types. All exactly. Types. I'm telling you, there's 10% that don't. I'm sorry. What we was? I'm telling you that how many don't go to that don't even make it to in front of the court. There's some women out here that we don't have to go to court. All you got to do is all you got to do is stand by what you said you were going to do. That's it. You can have 50-50. I'm not asking you for child support. I'm just asking you to take care of your child. Matter of fact, don't even put the money in my hand. Get the money directly to the school. Get the money directly to the piano lessons. Get the money directly to the dance lessons. I don't want the money. All I'm asking you to do.
Then all of a sudden, she don't need to do that dancing.
Oh my God! They want to cut back on stuff.
There's a bunch of men who would love that.
All I'm asking you to do is take care of your child. I don't need it. Buy the Pampers. You buy the Pampers and just bring them to my house. You know what size she wear. You supposed to be pay the dentist, pay the doctor. There's a lot of women like that. That's why a lot of these custody cases don't even make it in front of the judge. They don't even make it in front of the judge. Now I know it. I don't know. The TLA is not in the chat, and he has his opinion. He's a 20-year family attorney, and he knows better than I.
Yeah,
but there's a lot of cases that don't even make it in front of the judge, and unless y'all got the stats on them on those cases, what I'm saying is a lot of women that are reasonable, and you're looking at three.
I think you sample sizing a woman that's in your area because your women are
not in my area. Not in my area. I've lived all over the world. I've lived all over the world. I've lived in multiple states, East and West Coast, and I've lived all over the world. What I'm saying is, just like y'all tell us, right? If he's left, then you should have picked better. Then I'm gonna tell you, men, take accountability for the same thing. If she is taking you through the ringer, then you should have picked better. Who told you to marry someone that don't got
100%?
100%.
And I'm not coming at you, Doug. Common sense and Valdez. I respect you all as men. I respect you all as men. But what I'm saying is, if you're telling us to pick better, then when it comes to alimony and child support, then you should have picked better. But then at the end of the day, you say, well, y'all, why are you having these kids? You have all the control. You can delete these kids. You can do whatever, right? Or keep your legs closed. Well, I'm telling you the same thing. At this point, you have a pill that you don't even got that will help you as well. You can keep your legs closed or zip it up as well. Right?
The biggest difference, Ty, is that the narrative in America, see, men, we're forced. You don't hear a man say, well, it just happened. You know what I'm saying? A man will say, you know what, man, I messed up and I gotta. Women are the ones that have every excuse to get themselves out of it. Well, sometimes life just happens. Women can't pick their baby father. There's this whole narrative that like removes women from some women do take accountability, but women have that card they can pull to keep accountability.
I'm gonna tell you like this:
whereas men don't.
50% of children that are you said that are without were you say born in single
out of wedlock?
Born out of wedlock. What is the percentage of those children that are the mother is the primary caregiver?
90% of all children in a single person house out of divorce.
Divorce or just
out of divorce, it goes to the children. I would imagine if a mother has a child out of wedlock, the father doesn't exactly have as many rights as a married husband does. So I would assume that if a woman's having a child out of wedlock, the woman's keeping it.
Okay.
How could a man have?
However you got to the point that those children that are in single parent households are mostly with their moms, and these mothers are doing their part, are doing whatever. You can say they didn't pick. You can say they didn't pick them right. You can say they trapped them. You can say all of those things. But these women are here in the household. I'm not saying they're all good. Okay. Mm-hmm. But these women are there. I'm asking you, those 18% of men that you say that are impregnating all of these women out here,
and they're scumbags.
Men, all I'm saying is, a black man as a community, just men as a whole, go ahead and police them up. Talk to that 18%, or you can talk to that 27% of married men that have kids, who may have kids outside of that marriage.
But our numbers keep rising, though. 50% now. Like, all we can do is, because the easiest way to do this would be for women to stop sleeping with men who already have kids already.
Or men can stop sleeping with women. No,
exactly.
Or they can take their birth control pill like they force down women. Like
yeah, you know what? I'm to the point now where I'm to the point
now
where
if there was a birth control pill that didn't have heavy side effects, I'm for sure.
You know what, dude? You know what?
It's
put it out there. Put it out there. Let's give men a birth control pill and see how women. Can you imagine being with a man? Because I'm gonna tell you a story real quick. My ex-wife, Kate, she had 3 friends in 3 different countries. She's from West Africa, but I met her going to school here. She had 3 friends, and they all got pregnant at the same time. And their little WhatsApp was like, I'm pregnant. And all their stuff was like, oh, I'm pregnant. So she came home one day and was like, Doug and PA, we're having a baby. I said, we are? Now, we agreed when she got married because she wanted to be a physician assistant. We're not having she was 9 years younger than me. We're not having a child until you get your bachelor's degree. It's what we agreed on, right? She was halfway through, and then all of a sudden, because all of her friends were pregnant, showing their baby bumps and stuff, she wanted to get pregnant. And she was like, "We're having a baby," and I'm like, "No, that's not what we agreed on."
So
She
are you
said,
suggesting there's something wrong with that
no,
maternal need?
Hold on. She said, people with less than us have made it work. I said, no, we didn't have sex for 4.5 months. I said, this factory is closed. Closed. You see the look on Joy's face? That's how you shame a man for being responsible. I said, no, we agreed on something when we first got married. You see that shaming face right there? That's the problem.
No, I mean, you control though.
No, so like
that's shaming to you. Her face.
So what happened was,
honey, he done changed everything I said. It's whatever. He wins.
No, listen,
you know how I do.
Listen, what happened was all of her friends had their babies, right? And all of a sudden, all their little cool messages, "Oh, I'm pregnant," went from "I can't sleep," "My husband it won't help me with." You know, when a woman wants to have a child, she's gonna have it. It's just like these dumbass men. These guys
you stop it. You cut it off. You cut it off though.
These men who want to have children, they're good. Just like how women are gonna have children, whether you somehow, these men are gonna do it. There is no why don't you just talk to them? It's the same thing with women. You have friends who have said, "I'm gonna have a baby," and they go have that child, no matter what.
Unless they dealing with you, Doug, because you like, I never seen it.
And it's funny because I told women that story, and they're like, "How dare you deny your wife from having a baby? I'm the one having the child too. It's not just
you
her."
are." But let me say this though, it matters that she was 9 years younger than you. Because you could. It matters that she was younger than you.
Yeah,
because
so she really wasn't ready.
She wasn't,
but she
was. You had a little leverage with that.
She was 9 years younger.
She wasn't ready to have kids, but she was ready.
She was 8 years because I was 31 and she was 23.
But you had leverage though. 23-year-old dealing with a 31. You know that you could try that with a woman your age at the time, but I understand you had a plan for your family.
She's remarried. She has a kid with a new husband. More power to him.
Was that the cause of the divorce, Doug?
No.
Okay.
We went. I took a job here in DC from Vegas, and she was going to school in Vegas. Now I went to school in Vegas, and let me tell you, Vegas is a party school. You can't be an attractive woman and be married and be going to school in Vegas.
Oh, she went to UNLV?
Oh, yeah. And I went there. So, like, I my marriage ended when I took a job in DC because if things were going good, I never would have moved across the country. We had problems before that, but then it just exacerbated with long distance. And we amicably split. I filed for divorce against her because, once again, like, if you're going to do whatever you want with whoever you want, you can, but not on my dime. You can't. You know what I'm saying?
You do? You know what? You're a modern man, baby. You are a modern man. Because for you to be walking out when it's 70% of us walking out.
Yeah, but you know what it is?
Did you pay alimony, Doug?
No. Well, let me tell you. So, I served her with the divorce papers, and I said, "Hey, I don't want to be together with you anymore." And she said, "Well," and I didn't want her to get lawyers involved because Vegas, Clark County Central Court is just like California. Like, you can get screwed. This is for men and women. If you're a woman and you make more money than your husband in Vegas and he divorces you, good luck with that. But I said, "Hey, don't, what do I got to do for you to sign these papers?" She said, "Pay off my debt." I said, "Your debt? What are you talking about?" She had taken out $25,000 in credit cards in both of our names without telling me. And it's funny because I was coming home every 90 days, right? And we had this walk-in closet.
That was in addition to the 4 months?
What's that?
The 4 months of no sex.
That was that the 4 months? That was in addition to the 4 months.
He said that wasn't the cause of the divorce, though.
Yeah, that wasn't the cause of the divorce.
Is that legal for her to do
If
that?
they come to
You're
terms,
modern.
yeah.
Common sense. What'd you say?
Is that legal for her to do that? Take out credit cards without you knowing? Because she had to
Yeah,
forge your name on
Yeah,
if they
They're
know your
married.
social
they're married.
security number, yeah, of course. So she said, pay off my debt. I'll sign whatever you want. So I called the credit card companies. I said, hey, take her name off these credit cards. And when I did that, she signed the papers, and that was it. And I had to pay off $25,000. And it's funny because I would come home every 90 days, and I took all my stuff with me to DC, and I would see more stuff in our walk-in closet, like clothes and handbags. I'm like, where's she getting all this money from? Like, what the heck is going on? And she was working. I was paying all the bills. I was paying for my room here, and then all the bills back in Vegas. And she, but she was spending more than I was like, how's she paying for all this?
Right.
And once again, I found out that she took out all that money. And once again, I took accountability. All I did was, I chose the wrong one. I accept that. I was smart enough to not have kids with her though.
Right, but she forged your name to get those credit cards.
I don't even worry about it. I don't even care. Whatever.
So you
I'm still
had to
on.
bite
You
the
a
bullet.
modern man. He a
I
modern man though.
I just paid it off. So what?
It's less of a
So
headache.
I
Guys-
guess you was gonna get out. You was gonna leave the relationship with a financial hit one way or the other. So I guess the 25 was easier to go.
Guys,
Jesus is ready to be done.
guys, our wealth increases when we get divorced most of the time.
Tell them, dude.
And hard profile.
No, they ain't got to keep getting walked out on. They could do the walking out.
What's that?
They don't have to keep
Not
getting
a
walked
lady.
out on. They could do the
Yes.
walking out. Tell them they
That's
can
one
do
of the
walking
reasons
out.
why
Yeah.
I want to get married again. I've gone to therapy. I've done the work. Number one. Number two, I can afford another divorce.
Okay? Because you're walking out. I'm going to tell
Yo.
y'all something. Till they walked out, these men be leaving these women.
Nah, they
Yeah,
said 70% of the divorces are initiated by the women.
The 30%, they over here, though. We know
30%
them.
over here, right?
We
Hey
know them.
guys, so I looked up a fact for you, and then
Yes.
they say fathers are granted custody only 18.3% of the time in
Yeah,
court.
18%. I'm sorry. Yep.
No,
Yeah, we know it's lower.
yeah, it could be well. I guess
Always.
So I brought up the thing. It's just baby fever is a real thing. I think that men are more likely to plan for like a child than. Well, I can't say that.
You can't.
No,
Because
I don't think you're wrong. But
Sorry,
hold on,
I'm not gonna cat. I'm not gonna cat.
But no, to piggyback, I don't think you're wrong because I was kind of thinking in the back of my mind, if men started taking these pills, they might not never have kids. And
That's what I'm
mean
saying.
is,
That's what
a
I'm
lot
saying.
of times they end up being dads because it's like a oops. Well,
Yeah, could you imagine if a man, you can be, because the highest group of women that delete children are married white women with with 3 children that don't want to have more children.
Hmm.
That's the highest group. I think it's like 35 to 45 or something. White women have the most baby deletions of any group, and they're ones
Thank
who
you.
already have kids and they can't afford
Wow.
more children. They leave that part out and try and frame it as those urban black girls in back alleys. No, it's suburban white women who already have kids who can't afford another one. But imagine if you're with a guy, you think that you guys are ready to have kids. He said, "Okay, honey, I'm gonna stop taking my pill," and he doesn't do it. You're like, "Why are you taking your pill? I thought we're gonna have a child." Okay, honey, sure. And he just keeps doing it. You can't stop him from taking a pill, can you?
It's women
And that's
doing
why.
that too.
But seriously though, because I think if there are men where if they could control it fully, like our childbirth rate would drop down the tubes, like it would be really really low. Because men.
So then that kind of like feeds into my point, right? So so you're saying if men could control whether or not they have kids, which they can, but if they take this pill, right, and they can have sex without having kids, let's just say that, right? Then the childbirth rate would drop
100%.
Humanity
it would
go
drop
away.
a lot.
But there would be women out here with baby fever, right? So in order for there will be women looking for baby, right? So in order for women to, I guess, find a man that does not want to take the pill anymore, the same way men have to find a woman who no longer wants to take birth control, then would not women have to get on the man's program? So I think it's kind of like beneficial, right? Would I not have to get in your program in order for me to not catch you slipping, right? I would have to get on your program. Shout out to David Carmina in the chat. Get on your program so that you can agree to give me kids, right?
And even then, he could be doing everything right, and he could still be taking the pill. And he can even say, honey, you know what? I stopped taking it, and he's shooting up the club, and nothing's happening. And you're going to the doctor like, is there something wrong with me? And he can just keep saying, honey, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's wrong. But out in his truck under the seat, next to an empty can of beer is that pill bottle. I'm telling you, women, they think they want the smoke of letting guys determine who have the babies, but you don't want that smoke. You don't.
Some of these men be wanting babies though.
Yeah. They do.
Bad.
It'll in the heirs. They want those heirs. And if we really try to go down the rabbit hole of capitalism and why this capitalistic, they're trying to produce more kids so they can have more workers and this and that. I mean, at some point it's gonna be like, okay, these men, we gotta have kids. It's just gonna happen.
I think it'll hurt the population if they officially came off with birth control.
But you guys just told me that 57% of black men aren't even having kids. They don't want
them. It'll go up to like 80%.
I think that this right here, this is it. Imagine if men had the power over pregnancy and marriage. That is a lot of power.
Yes.
But y'all don't want us to have. You're right. But y'all don't want us to have the power over pregnancy. You don't. That's why we got.
That's his point.
But we have to accept that that's the reality right now.
No, I'm saying they don't want us. They don't want women to have the power over pregnancy. They don't want that.
Wait, they who?
Men.
Who's they?
Men. The ones that's calling folks baby mamas and single mamas.
It's baby mama culture. It's all of this.
Wait, so are you trying to say that there's too many men against, deleting
if
children?
The men had control over everything, but the men don't like the fact that we at least have a part of it. It's like when you have like a Democratic president and then the Congress or whatever is Republican. It's like it got to be balanced. It can't be all on one side. So y'all can't be in control of pregnancy and marriage.
No,
we know and I said that before. The men are not marrying the women, and they are in control of that. Everybody knows.
Wouldn't that make your argument or go against your argument of wanting guys to take birth control so that way you can keep that power dynamic in place?
With what? If they get the birth control?
Of men not doing birth controls, because if we do have the ability to now say, hey, I can go smash any chick I want with no consequences, right?
Oh, it's consequences.
Then you are consequences of no child. Have no consequences of no child or whatever, then you will lose complete leverage, as I think Ty said earlier, as far as
my argument is that they're not going to take it. Doug said that they were going to take it. I
100%.
I don't think they will.
100% they would.
I don't think they will. They won't even take diabetic medication. They won't take any of that stuff.
Well, you know what?
They don't want their foot.
Yeah, this is the
thing. Yes. All of us
guys will take it.
The only reason why, especially if a lot of us were born without a stable male figure in the home. I mean, my parents were married for like 40 years and they got divorced like a couple of years ago. What I'm saying is the only reason why.
I'm sorry, it's my tangent. Your mother or your father?
My mom did, but my dad left like 2 years before. It's the only reason why so many black men don't have any children is because our mamas, our nays, everyone were like, don't get these women pregnant. Don't do it. We are 3-4 generations into black men. Don't be having kids because
they're telling us that too. They putting us on birth control at 16.
They putting us on birth control at 15, 16, even prior to
they
that.
Tell you kiss a boy, you gonna be pregnant. And you know you like don't look at me too hard.
That's why I don't need to kiss no more.
Yeah.
So here's the question: if they're telling us both that they're telling men don't have kids and they're telling the girls don't have kids, why do you think your mom, your nana, your aunties are telling the boys not to have kids?
Because a lot of them think that black men ain't nothing, and they think that the best way to stop their son from being like the men that they talk trash about in their lives is don't have children with a woman. A lot of them pick the wrong men, and the only way as a young boy you can figure that you're not going to be like the men that your grandma, mama, nana y'all talked about. I'm not going to get a woman pregnant.
Okay, so
but
then
if you do, you can just marry her.
But on the flip side, why do you think they're telling the girls, the young girls, not to have kids?
Because
put an age on the young girls. Let's kind of clear that up.
I'm just saying, you're growing up. I'm just saying, why growing up? Why do you think they're saying this to you? Because that's the narrative, right? That they are telling that they're telling us not to have kids, go to school, don't focus on the man, and do all of that, right? And these women hit the wall, and now they want this. So why do you think they're telling the women this? So they're telling the men this, and they're telling the women this. They're telling us the same thing. Why? Why do you think they're telling the women that? Come from that perspective.
Well, so the only contention that my mom and sister have is my sister is 46 years old and has never had a serious relationship. She's accomplished, master's degree, had a son, and my mom, she's mad at my mom to this day because she's like, Mom, why did you raise me to be a single woman? My mom was married to a doctor for freaking 40 years, enjoyed the Christmases and the Thanksgivings and the family and stuff, but raised my sister to be single. And my mom she's just like, my mom went to therapy after my parents got divorced, and she she went on this whole apology tour, and she's trying to make things better. She's apologized to my sister, but my mom had this like, I missed out on a whole different life, and so my mom was living vicariously through my sister. She even said it. She's like, I didn't want you to live my life, and now my sister has just been out here a single woman by herself. So you had a whole generation of women that taught their daughters, don't be like me. Don't be with the men. Go live your life out in the world.
Why? That's what I'm asking you. Why? Because you said the reason why they told the young men that is because they don't want them to end up being deadbeats and
yep.
Like that. So why? I'm asking you, why would they tell the young women not to go and live their lives and have goals?
Because in my opinion, and if easy, you can tell me if you agree or not. There's a cosmopolitan lifestyle in the 70s and the 80s in these magazines and all these movies that started the glorification of being single. So women of my mom's generation have this, I missed out. I just missed out. Like my family wasn't enough. That's just my opinion.
Okay, so my opinion as a woman, I don't necessarily think I've received that direct I guess what I want to call it, teaching, like like don't have no kids, blah, blah, blah. I think my teaching was more along the lines of make sure that you go to school, get an education so that you can become something, right? So that you can have something. Never necessarily like be INDE, never this independent type deal, but not so that you can and I got this from my mother and my father, so that you will never have to necessarily rely on someone else, be a burden on someone else. You can always be able to pivot out of whatever situation that you're in. So have your own. And I think my understanding of that, as it comes from my two parents, male and female, my grandmother and my aunts and everything, it was not necessarily that Black men ain't gonna do, they're gonna leave you in the cold and be baby mama. It wasn't that. It was more of, and I didn't want to say that they missed out. It was more of, I want to see my community grow a little bit, like progress, right? I don't want to see any more Black kids not being able to read above the 6th grade level when they're 30 plus years old. right? I want you to be able to go out into the world and be, a part
More.
of,
They want you to
like,
be more. My
more.
my
Like, I
parents, they
want
still
Black
married right
people as
now.
a whole
40
to
years.
be
They,
more. Be the
yeah,
doctor,
be
be
more.
the
Be the best you
lawyer,
could be.
be
Like,
the
what is
best you can
that's
be.
the
Have an
narrative.
education, because I come from a background, my grandmother, whatever, where we didn't have those opportunities. They're not as, I won't say didn't have the opportunity. They're not as prevalent as they are today. So if you have it, take it, because I wish that I can have, like, I want to see my community, because that's the era that my mother and my grandparents grew up in, civil rights and everything. I want to see them have more. I want to see them be equal to the people that are trying to oppress them, right? And that's where I think a lot of that came from when I got that. It was never rooted in Black men ain't nothing, and they're gonna leave you out sitting in the cold with your baby, and you're gonna be, impoverished. It always came from a standpoint of, we as a people need to do better. And like they used to say all the time, Black people got to be 10 times as good to be considered equal. So my daughter has to go out and be a whole surgeon just to be equal to this white housewife. You understand what I'm saying?
He gonna say that's the
Hey, Ty,
exception.
question for you.
He's gonna say that's the exception.
No.
Okay.
I'm listening.
And that's what I'm
Go
saying.
ahead.
Because a lot of times we
Yeah,
just
because
say,
this
a lot of
is
times we distort that message, and
because
we
that's
make
what
it
the
about,
message is. It's
and it
not
is,
about
and it's not.
these
I
no
don't
good
think
Black
it's
men, because
I
we're
don't
not
think
even saying they're not good.
And that's good though. But taking that mindset, I just wish if we can go back and the women were having the conversation with their daughters, they would bring up what's called the masculine burden of performance. See, men, we have to perform. It's not an option for us. Women can choose to, but ultimately, like, I'm gonna bring up with one more stat. 48% of women in STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, and math, either go to part time or leave their industries altogether after a child is born.
But
So,
I'm in STEM, and so is in Allen.
yeah. So
We're
like,
both in the STEM field. I'm in
almost
IT.
50% of you ladies, once a child is born, because a lot of STEM fields are high pressure. What I'm saying is like, I I I it's glad that they wanted to perform in careers, but we in the 60s we were married at an 80% rate, and I wish that we could have taken that fervor to do more into like our families and staying together instead of being apart. Because like, one last thing, like, there's just so many glaring differences between the path of a man and the path of a woman. Like women nowadays, they're putting themselves in a position where they're supposed to be a provider. So, if you have your own house, you have your own car, you're making $100,000 a year, and you're like a woman. If you were a man, you'd be finding a younger woman to move into your house and have children with. Like, women still won't support men long term. They won't bring back their lifestyle. Why do you think guys have midlife crises? We would sacrifice our lifestyle for our families. Women haven't
some of
caught
those
up to
men are
that
lazy.
construct yet.
Some of this is a lot of BS. I'm gonna stop
I
you
don't
on
know,
this. And you've been
Doug.
talking. I hear you, and I agree with a lot of points that you make, Doug. But you skewing this thing like way too far on
How
the wrong
so?
side.
How
How
so?
so?
What parts would you
Let
call
me.
BS?
I'm the my
Now,
my main
easy. Do
issue
you
with
like agree with me? Yes or no?
on which part?
I, I'm asking if that's
Well,
easy.
so I was listening to everything that you were saying, and then but my question is because I'm big on calling out if it is BS and stuff like that. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts on what part you felt was the BS. But to Doug's point, as far as men, and then I don't want to speak from my adolescent experience, but from my experience, I know I have sacrificed everything for my woman and then future wife, and in my lifestyle as well. Um, and then I won't say most, but from what we see right now in modern times, woman lifestyle, because of the way man was raised and stuff like that. A lot of men, some men don't put in that work or not working as hard as they can. But
I'd agree with that.
So when we say a woman wouldn't sacrifice her lifestyle for a man, let me ask you a question about Easy. I don't know your lifestyle, but I just
slightly bougie.
You say you bougie?
Slightly bougie.
You okay?
We can see.
Okay, I got you. I just met you, right?
Yeah.
I don't know you from a can of paint. Are you about to sacrifice something for me?
If I just met you, it depends on
No.
So for me,
If I meet a man, I say this because if I meet a man and let's just say like he doesn't necessarily reach he doesn't meet my standard.
Yeah.
What I'm being told is I need to lower my standard to meet him where he is. But why would I do that? Why would I lower whatever my state for someone I don't know?
Kids
And I find out if he meets his
kids cost money.
If I find out he meets the basic standard, like there's gonna be some other things I'm gonna find out as well. But I find out he doesn't reach my basics, right? Why would
my
I?
question to you would be who in that situation, who would determine what the standard is? Is it you or the
Well,
guy?
I have my standard and he has his, and I may not meet his standards, right? I'm okay with that. I don't meet a lot of men's standards. I'm not for everybody.
So then my next question is why would it be fair for you not to meet the guy's standards completely?
Well, what
and
I'm saying,
not expect the same.
no, he should. I should meet his. I want to be with someone that wants me. I want to be with someone that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like I want to be with someone that wants me, right? And I will hope that he wants to be with someone that wants him. Yeah. And our standards don't necessarily have to match up, right? But they, you know what I mean? Like he might like, huh? No, they don't. Right? Because let's just say I like a person that's over 6'2", right? That doesn't mean he likes a person that's over 6'2". He might be like, okay, he might like somebody. He might like women that's 5'5", or 4'11", or 5'2". You understand what I'm saying? Sure. They don't necessarily match up. They just gotta be able. I just gotta be able to match. I might want a man that's a doctor. That don't mean he wants a doctor. He might want someone that works in IT. Ching. All I'm saying is I want somebody that wants me. Like you said, men don't care about salary, right? They don't care about how much money you make.
Some of them do.
They do.
A man will move a woman into his house and let her nest in his house.
And guess what? There are men that will move into a woman's house.
But what I'm saying is,
she'll move all of his stuff in the basement, and he'll have a man cave in his own house, right? But a woman. A woman will never give that man the same respect. If you get into
that's not the point I'm trying to make. No, what I'm saying is
if a guy moves into a woman's house and they get into a knockdown, drag out fight, you're just some fool living in there. And you need to leave.
All I'm saying is we don't necessarily have to have the
women
same
just gonna take over the house anyway, dude.
Right? They like
men don't get that same respect.
Men don't care though.
I promise they want you to take over the house.
They want the women to decorate the house.
Everybody talking at the same time now.
All I'm saying is they are tired of washing with that same rag and drying off with that same towel. They want you to bring in all of that. But the point that I was trying to make is men and women have different standards. And not only do men and women have different standards, but people to people have different standards. And as long as each person on either side meets those standards, then you can move forward. Right? It don't necessarily have to match up. They don't have to be the same thing. Y'all say it all the time. Women want a man that provides, protects, and all whatever. And then y'all say, "Oh, we want is fit, friendly, fun." Fuck around and find out. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Like, any of you ladies marry a guy that only made $38,000 a year? Yes.
No. Yep. At the time when I did,
guys.
At the time when I did, yeah.
Exactly.
Guys,
when I was
would you marry a
38,
woman that made $38,000 a year?
They sure would.
Yeah, marry a woman that's
Which
making
proves my
$10
point.
an hour.
We'll be working at the Foot Locker.
It proves my point. Standards don't have to.
And they're gonna cash you out.
Yeah, they
can't buy you no Birkin.
Well, no, here's the thing. I think it's a little bit different on that part. It's like because at first I used to be, I would say, ignorant to the fact of saying, yeah, I would go and marry a girl from McDonald's and stuff like that. I think it's more so on the lines of if I feel this woman have the qualities to evolve and then support me in this business and as far as making great financial decisions and stuff, then yes, I would go down that route. But no, it would not be a bimbo blonde head or anything like that. That's just a financial disaster.
And that's the same.
And we're not looking for Michael Jordan money.
But
exactly. That's the same thing women are
woman,
saying.
Even the average woman
still
in the United States, even with the bachelor's degree, makes about $33,000 a year. Even with the bachelor's degree, my bro.
That ain't true.
It is true.
No,
it's true. Yep.
All right, y'all.
It's probably true for a certain class of women.
No, on average.
Exactly.
With a bachelor's
exactly. That's a slight.
It's a certain class of people,
crime.
and that go both ways.
That ain't true.
All right, y'all. Listen, y'all know I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Joy, you said you trying to join the 5 a.m. club.
Atomic lifestyle.
Honey, I ain't gonna make it tomorrow. I don't know.
You don't want me to text? I'll text you, girl. Until
Girl,
you
I'm gonna sleep right through it. Honey.
We can.
I'm gonna have to take a nap at 9.
We can wrap this up right now. Hop in the shower, get in the bed by 1:05. That gives us 4 hours. That gives us 4 hours of sleep tonight. And we get up at.
That's not a REM sleep.
So I got a question for y'all.
Is it gonna get?
It's gonna cash me out. I don't want
105.
What's your question?
Okay, so let's say I heard Steve Harvey. He was talking about his tax issues on in your leisure, a little podcast.
Or your leisure.
Yeah. So basically, he got caught up and he had to pay back so much money. So let's say when y'all say 50-50, let's say for instance, if the issue, if worst case scenario came to pass and he had to, let's say the IRS came to the door, look, we got these 5 years. Since y'all married, Steve could either do the whole 5 or
yes, what's mine is yours and what's yours is mine. It's our. Yes, we will help.
Yeah, so that's my husband.
Yes,
I thought he said doing some jail time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, jail time.
You'll do 2.5.
Why would the man ask you to do that?
I'm just asking because people be doing.
I don't want to be with no man.
If you gonna ask me to do it, then I'm not.
Jail time. Just take out the gender part.
No, it matters. It matters.
No, take out the gender part.
Now, if you're gonna be this male dominant head of household, I'm the man of my house. You need to do them 5 years and don't even ask me about that.
I can agree with that.
Take out the gender
don't ever
part.
ask your woman to go to prison. Hell no.
But listen what I'm saying. Take out the gender part.
Cash women
We're just 50-50 partners, right?
Okay.
Good, bad, and ugly. So they show up. Look, we got these 5 years. Steve, you can take them, or we're gonna split them because y'all 50-50 partners.
No, he's 50-50 on the bill stuff. Maybe I'm not going to jail for that. And clearly, he still ain't being honest with me about even that because how we get behind that part in Texas and he got to go do 5 years
because they're not gonna. They don't. Sometimes they want to be. They so busy want to be the leader. They won't recognize the strengths of other people, and it may not even be the strength in your own household. It may be like, you know what, baby, we both bad with money. We probably need to hire an accountant, right?
Well, he had an accountant, but the accountant died and left like 7 years worth of paperwork on the floor.
There we go.
Yeah, I heard the story.
That didn't make no sense.
Yeah,
didn't make no sense at all.
Ladies, don't ever go to prison for no man. Heck no.
Exactly.
That's grounds for divorce.
Listen, baby, those days are over. Those days are over.
So that's a hard no. You're not gonna share that.
Baby, I
don't ask me to do it.
If you wanted Ty to be ride or die, you should have caught me in the early 2000s.
I would never ride like that.
But I'm gonna tell you, I don't know if I was built for prison. Okay, so I don't know how ride or die I was. But
you better take that money that you buried in the backyard, and you better go run.
So 50-50 is not really 50-50.
No.
And why do I have to go to jail for you?
But listen,
it's not. 50-50 is not really 50-50.
No, because he already lied about the money.
Well, according to him, I don't know.
He lied about the money.
It didn't make no sense, but.
So it stopped being 50-50 when he lied about the money. So he need to do the time.
But we enjoyed the money together. So why
I don't know that. It's sold 7 years worth of money that's unaccounted for.
But y'all was going on these trips and having.
We could have been doing even more. He lied, so it's over.
We could have been tripping.
But legally, y'all 50-50 partners.
We not. That was just a decision. That was like an understanding. It ain't never on paper.
No, y'all. This thing you married. So y'all 50-50 partners. So you got to
no.
So y'all don't want to take that.
Marriages, I think is not. I think are not created equal.
So we're not okay. So we're not.
Common sense. I would even argue. I wouldn't even expect my wife to
Right. No,
I would take double the time if she didn't have to go.
My point about it is
because
but
I wouldn't offer that.
You have a lot of women who they want equal pay for equal work, and they want equal this, equal this, equal that.
Stop.
So when it comes down to equal, we can't. Y'all can't kick.
Common sense. When you were married, were you 50-50?
No, I was a little more than 50.
I paid 100%. Oh, what?
57%?
57%. I was 100-0.
Nah.
Were you 57%?
I did the bare minimum, 51.
See, and that's why he asked you to go to jail. And then he'll be saying these modern women don't want to go out with him.
When you were married, were you 50-50?
100%. I paid 100% of the bills.
And she went to school to be a physician.
To be a physician assistant.
A PA. I'm sorry.
And she worked full time. So she worked full time and got to keep all of her money. I paid all. I paid.
And then you pay her. Valdez, were you ever married? I'm sorry.
No, I was not married.
Well, how do you feel about it? You 100% or you 50-50?
I was 100.
You 100%? You 100%? And okay, you expect her to go to jail for you?
Hell no.
Right. Okay. Point at him. Everybody just point at the comments.
Yeah, bro. You lost, bro.
The question because everybody, women they want equal rights.
That's not.
You don't.
Equal this, equal that.
I don't care. We y'all can take them bills. Y'all just be respectful, be decent, and stop talking all this modern talk.
I'm gonna bring up one last point, and Ty Joy, now I want to see if you can agree with this, because I tell the young guys that I mentor. Women say they want 50-50, but you need to operate and get to the point where you can pay 100% of the bills if need be. Now,
women do?
No, men.
Oh, okay, yes.
So now, if you meet a woman who truly wants 50-50, that's cool. But sometimes she may want 80. She says 50-50 and reserves the right to change her mind at any time. So you should operate like you can pay 100% of the bills. And if she wants to pay 50-50, cool. If she wants to pay 80-20, cool. You can account for all that. Operate as a man like you to get to the point where you can pay 100% of the bills.
So what does 50-50 look like?
Let me throw
Go ahead, Valdez, because common sense is over here not making common sense right now. Go ahead, Valdez.
Feel free to attack me, ladies. Do we at least get home cooked meals with this 100%?
Yes. Look,
bro, come on.
I was getting it all the time.
Not 7 days.
You know that you could cook better than most of the women you know about, DZ. Come on.
Not 7 days.
That's different. I like
it's not 7 days.
I got on this thing. I had to cook. That's why we get on so late. That's why we get on so late. We gotta cook. We got household duties. We gotta do. I gotta tuck my baby.
Y'all three are real ones, man. Y'all have any sisters?
I do.
They walking away from marriage.
Okay, like that's why we on here.
You have any single sisters?
You gotta look at the ones that be on here, like in the middle of the day when they should be feeding their family. They on here telling spewing all those what's the names. You need to ask them are they cooking?
Here, man. Let's go.
You gotta ask them are they cooking.
Y'all not the average class of women that we talking about.
Huh?
Y'all not the average class of women that we talk about.
That's why we coming on here. Let y'all.
They come in packs. We come packs, baby. That's what we're saying. It's a whole lot of us. I look at I'm like, yeah, I don't know where they get this from. Who are they dating?
That's why we are always so confused when we hear these stats. We're like, who are those people?
It's just
man. I wish I'd seen our world, because finding women like you is different.
It is.
I'm gonna tell you
all
my
friends are like me.
I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm gonna tell you what to do about these, and this is not and I'm gonna tell you, Doug, and the comments. I'm telling every man, what you do is log off and go outside and let me get in my bed. Now I only got like 5 minutes to get myself together. Log off and go outside and put just like y'all tell us to pick better and put ourselves in places where of the men that want to be around. Do the same thing. I'm gonna tell you, all of my friends, most of my friends, like I would say outside of my friends that I had in high school that I may keep in contact with or whatever, but most of the people, my friends today, are college educated women, marriage minded. Most of them are kind of like most of them are married. So we come in packs, but you lost that already. You might have to wait around to see.
My biggest question is what do these women do outside of their job?
And Doug, you right there in DC, right?
But the problem is I meet these women where like you
Where
said
you at,
earlier,
Doug? Ain't
I'm
nobody
in
told you to go
DC,
to
right?
Georgetown. You should have.
But
Nobody told
remember
you to
what
go to Georgetown. You should have
but you
went right on up there,
but
up to the hilltop, and went right on over there off of Georgia Avenue.
Georgia, I knew you was gonna
Off
say
of
Georgia
Georgia
the
Avenue.
problem is, remember what you're talking about mothers talking to their daughters about careers and all that stuff. I mean, women, like, I make, I, I'm executive manager with a government agency, and like so I make enough money where I don't have to care about a woman's income. So what are you besides your job? I'm part of a running
Oh,
group.
I'm not telling you about anything about a
No
job. I'm
women there.
telling
A
you where to
We
cycling
go to
group.
we
find
do
women.
running
But
groups. We're
women just want to
hiking.
talk about their
We're
jobs, and that's
On
it. And I'm like, what are you
YouTube.
we don't
besides
I,
your
I don't
job?
lie.
We
Nobody
at
don't
work
ever ask
right
me about
now.
my job
What
when
is
I'm at work. When I'm not at work.
what
Doug.
Doug is saying is like what benefits do he get? That's what he's saying, not necessarily
You're
based off of
So
asking.
many. We're not just one.
Yeah,
We are
talk
not
to
just
me
going to
about.
work
I
and
don't
career
care about your
minded. We
job.
do
Like,
a lots of
what
other things.
hobbies do you do? Are you fun to be around? Because a lot of
Yeah.
these women,
Really?
it's like
You always
my
hanging out
job.
over
I
here. You
work
are
100
number
hours
one
a week.
moderator.
Look,
he's
you
not
over
talking
here.
about
You
y'all.
are number one moderator. Don't act like that. You know you love us.
He's not
Well,
talking about you guys
no,
specifically.
no. You
Oh,
ladies are
those women?
fantastic,
He's
though.
not
No,
you.
what I'm saying is
One of the reasons
that's
why
the
I
kind
like
of
your show is
energy.
because I'm seeing a fresh set of women here. This is great. I'm
You said
saying,
fresh set. You know they always like a new. You know what they say. They always men always want new.
well,
Yep.
no. What I'm saying is
This time.
That's
it's
not true.
refreshing to hear you ladies' viewpoint,
Yeah.
because here in DC are the kind of women that Lisa calling the Kevin Samuels' show.
Doug, you gotta
It's
move.
all over here.
Now,
So,
Doug. Now hold on, Doug, because I'm in the DMV too. Okay, and I lived in
Really?
DC for and I lived. That's why I told you instead of you going down there to Georgetown, you should have took yourself right up there to Georgia Avenue, up northwest, and went to the hilltop. Okay, and went up there and found. I don't know where you met your wife at. I have no idea, but you said y'all went to school together. UNLV, right?
no, we met when she was going to school, but then she transferred to UNLV. That was my dumb idea.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm telling you, men, you need to take yourself to your local HBCU, whether it's HU, whether it's A&T, Aggie Pride,
Aggie Pride.
or whether it's that good old Southern dude, because that's where
Yeah.
we all hail from. I don't understand.
Doug, like, hold on, what?
No,
And
it's just,
in most HBCU
it's just the
campuses,
biggest problem is, once again, I want, like, we're in this individualistic culture where, like, we don't build together anymore. We haven't built together since the 80s. So not only is meeting a woman an issue, but the problem is you're an individual. I'm an individual. I have my accomplishments, my house, everything. You have yours. So, like, we're two individuals that have to somehow take our lives and put it together, instead of having that, like, we live together in a single bedroom apartment, eating ramen and build ourselves into something. We're in this new kind of, like, dating.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, if we do get together, who's gonna move into whose house? Are we gonna sell each other's house and buy one together? It just all that, and
It's
it just hasn't caught up
unfortunate.
to that yet.
It's
Yeah,
unfortunate.
that's the decisions we got to make. It's life. That sounds like life right now, Doug. It's
Yeah.
life.
But
We
yeah.
gotta go. And only we can live life if we log off and go outside.
Lead is on live now. It's
Yeah, that's what he said. That's what Common Sense said. Lead is
What?
life. But look at that. Listen,
Let's
I
go.
really appreciate you, ladies.
This has
thanks,
been
I
great.
really do.
Thank
Yeah,
y'all.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Common
guys.
Sense.
This has been great.
Expert.
Thank you,
I
Doug.
did
We
not. I told
appreciate
y'all I
you.
only
Thank
wanted
you,
to be on here
Valdez,
for an
being
hour tonight.
Thank
done
you.
with me, with us, Common Sense Expert. Thank you for spending time with us. You all are more than welcome back. But as of now, I think we got about 30% of our
I'm gonna
audience.
drop y'all down.
back
Drop
with
y'all
us.
1, 2,
Get them out of
3,
here.
and we out.
So
Yes.
anyway, you guys, please let's keep the conversation going. In the comments, if you're watching the replay, I'm telling you, this conversation is taking all kind of twists and turns that I didn't see coming. So with that said, please make sure that you comment below, make sure you like and you subscribe, and send this to some friends so we can get our following where it needs to be. Until next time we see y'all have a great day.
Here come King.
Bye.
Bye.